Nosey Charlie Comes to Town by Yvonne Blackwood. This is Charlie. He once lived in the country with his mother and father. When he became an orphan, he moved to the city to live with his cousin Pete Berryhill and Mama Leticia Berryhill and Papa Harold Berryhill. That's when Pete's trouble started. Charlie was a good squirrel, but he was very nosy. The Berryhills lived in a parkette next door to a courthouse in the centre of town. The park had many trees, short, medium and tall. It had a fountain with water splashing and running down and a bubbling, gurgling, splendiferous waterfall. Pete loved the park and knew it well. There were park benches made from wood. There were neat garbage baskets for the trash. People from the tall buildings lounged there and ate lunch whenever they could. Old ladies and old men sat on benches to rehash the times they called the good old days. Some people said, "The city is no place for a family of squirrels. They need the forest to roam about, not concrete. Not sitting around like bored sentinels. They need to frolic, to have fun, and play hide and go seek." Bright red streetcars rumbled on metal tracks nearby. Busy, noisy traffic whooshed by day after day. Jackhammers clanked and the cathedral bells pealed up to the sky. But the Berryhills, they knew it was the most amazing park and their home. They would not budge. No siree. No other place would do. Fall came. Leaves fell slowly from trees that were short, medium and tall. The sun sank lower in the sky by 6 o'clock. Mama and Papa Berryhill knew one thing they had to do. They must prepare for a time that came once every year. A time to stay in the den, to conserve body heat and to rest. One day, park cleaners in blue overalls came with rakes, garbage bags and twist ties. They raked the grass and sprinkled it with white powder. They bundled the trash and leaves in bags and placed them high. Then they gathered up the tools in a wheelbarrow and prepared to leave the park. Nosey Charlie left Pete's side and dashed to see what was in the bags. He sniffed and circled, but couldn't read the tags. He scampered up a pole for an overhead view, but he slipped and fell and landed on one of the sacks. It burst open and garbage began to spew. The angry park cleaners grabbed sticks and stones and chased all the animals in sight. They chased chipmunks, squirrels, even skunks too. Charlie darted up a maple tree without being seen. Poor Pete moved too slow. A stone struck him on the head. He squealed in pain and bolted to the den. His outing was ruined. Now he must stay indoors and get well. Mama Berryhill rubbed Pete's head and lovingly said, "Hush, dear, at least you're alive. But where is your cousin Charlie? Oh, I couldn't forgive myself if he's in trouble. I fear he is. My poor orphan nephew. He just has to be safe." The Berryhills waited inside the den, afraid to go out in case the cleaners came poking. For a while, no squirrels or other animals appeared. The park cleaners put the grass clippings and garbage in a new sack. They tied it tight and left the park. High up in the maple tree, Charlie watched and waited, afraid to make a sound or to come down.
"The men are angry and will have no pity on me,"
he said.
"I must make sure they're gone, way out of town. Oh, what have I done? What have I done? All I wanted to do was have some fun. Now Cousin Peter's hurt because I acted silly. Is he hurt badly? Is he alive? I won't think of it.
Just as the sun began to sink in the west, Charlie climbed slowly down from the tree. He watched, waited, and listened, straining his ear. When he didn't hear or see anyone, he darted home. He was tired and hungry and stiff with pain. As he entered the den, he saw Pete lying in bed hurt, but alive. Charlie burst into a big grin.
I'm so sorry for what I did, Pete. I promise never to be so nosy again.
A few weeks later, with everyone safe and well, Mama Leticia said, "Charlie, Pete, get out your backpacks. We must gather food and prepare, for nothing should we lack."
Why? Why?
Charlie asked. He just wanted to play. Mama Berryhill said, "While the sun shines, we must always make hay. The berries, seeds and nuts are ripe, just so. Today we begin our collecting to go." Early in the morning, Papa Berryhill secured hiding places as he limped hippity-hoppity about. Mama Leticia dashed for the trees, with Pete and Charlie close behind. They scurried into the centre of the park with one place in mind, to a patch of crabapple trees. Many fruits covered the ground. All the leaves on the trees were now gone. On the branches, hundreds of tiny crabapples gleamed in the autumn sun, some yellow, some orange, and some red. The fruits on the ground were soft, but not too mushy. Mama Leticia knew from experience they would be tasty. She picked up the first fruit with her two front paws. She felt it, sniffed it, and shook it with a flurry. "Yes, boys," she said, grinning with delight. "These fruits are just ripe. Let's gather as many as we can carry." All week, Mama Leticia, Pete and Charlie made trips to the crabapple patch. Charlie and Pete ran through the grass that was no longer green, and they ran behind the fountain with the water splashing and running down. They climbed trees, swung from branches, and laughed with glee. But with Mama Leticia's firm words that it was not a game, they kept to the main task of gathering. As she worked, Mama Leticia sang softly, "Gather, gather, food for fodder. Fall is here, but not forever. Supplies we need to store up for later. For a time may come when there'll be none for supper."
Why do we have to gather, Aunt Leticia?
asked Charlie. Mama Leticia said, "You're as inquisitive as ever, Charlie. You ask so many questions." Then she playfully pinched his right ear. "Because winter will soon be here, my dear." Look out for Charlie's next adventure, when Charlie goes to court. And if you enjoyed this story, Nosey Charlie Comes to Town, why not buy the book and others in the series and read along? You can find out more about author Yvonne Blackwood at www.yvonneblackwood.com. You can also find the links where to buy the books in the description below.